How is it going, everyone? It is January 12th, 2024 as a Friday. Last day of the week. We got a holiday on Monday, so let's see what the market is looking like today. So as always, we're going to look at the market first. I will go over the picks of the previous video, some of the changes I made in my positions, and then I'll give you guys a new pick. So long-term market bias, if we go to the SPY D1 chart, still bullish here. You can see there's been a little bit of volatility. There's been some news events past couple of days that we're going to go over, and we are testing this prior high of last year, I guess, and we are making some new highs of the year, just barely poking above and getting close to the all-time high around 479.88, something like that. So still bullish on a fundamental and a macro basis. Let's go over some of those events. So CPI came out a little bit hotter than expected yesterday, which we went over. And if we look at the market reaction here, we can see that here's the initial reaction to CPI. It was negative pre-market. It snapped back up, and then we had a sell-off post-market here. Found support at AVWebQ, launched off and erased most of this gains, closing pretty much right at the open of yesterday. So net movement of zero. Today, we gapped up higher again, and this was actually from a better than expected PPI number. Came in a little bit cooler. Nice move up from the market, which gave us this gap. We filled in this gap in the morning, and then the market found support. You can see early on that we didn't have the strong price action as yesterday, right? Where we got these stacked red candles, very little retracement, and the next leg higher. Here we can see that there's kind of fighting the whole way down. So it's really like a one step back, two steps down sort of move. 1050 looks like we put in the low of the day. Come back here, we try to break it down on the bearish side, and then there's just a lot of fighting, and now we are slowly, steadily buying up. The volume is pretty low for most of the day, but I feel pretty confident that the low of the day is in, and we can make a run to try to fill in the close, which was right over here. So we are green for the day, and we might even try to test the high earlier today. I don't know if we'll probably won't have enough firepower or time to break through it, but I like the steady action that we're seeing today. So a little more bullish intraday over here. Picks from the last video. Let's look at ramp. Nice. So you can see ramp, nice gap up here, and it held all the gains while the market was going down. So I actually added to ramp around here because I liked the relative strength, and I liked how the market had put in a double bottom. The market is now moving higher. Ramp is now moving higher, not as much as the market, but still moving pretty high. So my target is still a little bit higher around this $39 level at this high plus trend line. There's a little bit of resistance here, but I'm not super worried about that. As long as the market surges higher, then I believe ramp should be able to clear that with very little, or with a lot of ease, I should say, a lot of ease. So the other pick that I had and I took profits on was PanW. So I added PanW yesterday, and I took profits this morning. It hit my target, I believe at 328 is when I took profits. So it took profits around here. You can see that it hit this high plus trend line, rejected, and has not been able to participate in the rally because there's some selling pressure from the algos. So nice trade on Pan. The other trade I took yesterday was Vive. Vive has fared a little bit better. So I took profits at around 207.50 as we got close to this high minus trend line. We can see that it broke through and it's kind of fighting against it. So Vive is doing a little bit better in terms of fighting against this resistance level. It could break out because we have the firepower to do so, but that was my target, took profits, and I'm not really overthinking that one. Let's go over some picks for today. So First one, and this is a trade I took, is Zoom. So I like Zoom here. You can see that it put in a base. We filled in this move here pretty quickly, and we're fighting at this gap over here. So Zoom completely unperturbed by the market move down. And I'm going to delete VWAP here right now just so you can see this candle a little bit more clearly. And let's put in a SPY overlay here. So you can see while the market's going down, Zoom has managed to climb higher and hold all the gains. As soon as the market started to form a double bottom, so did Zoom, and then it managed to take off later in the day. So definitely a nice day trading opportunity on this stock. And I like how you have a lot of support below it. So I took the Zoom 2967.66 put credit spread expiring on the 9th, which I guess I already said. But we have a lot of support. We have AVWAPQ here, the 8 EMA. We have all of the SMAs over here. And we have a little bit of a low plus trend line, which I'm not putting a lot of credence to, but it does help a little bit. So I like Zoom, and I think it's going to stay over 67 in the coming months. Recommend you can all guys also try to take that one. Another one here, CTSH, big pop today. Maybe slightly overextended, but really nice price action. You can see that it held up really well when the market was down, and it's managing to climb higher here, and we broke through this pretty long-term high plus trend line all the way back from February of last year, so about a year long. Workday is also another pretty nice one. It held up the gains really well yesterday. You can see that it didn't drop that much with the market, managed to close near its high. Today, it also made a higher low when the market was making new lows, and then it took off later in the day. So very nice entry point on Workday. I like how it's been able to break above this resistance level right around here. And we have some room to this high plus trend line, which is not the strongest support, but it is support level here. So if you were to construct this trade, I like you would use this as my stop here, and you can use that high plus as your target. It's not that much room for me personally. You also have to decide how much you want to weight this. We have a few touches, but they're pretty close by. And it's it's not a longer term trend line, it's a pretty short term trend line. So you can see how much credence you want to put to it. I wouldn't put that much credence into it, but I tend to trust the one option trend lines, so I am not taking the trade because of that. And finally, we're going to get to my pick of the day here, which is Spot. So Spot is breaking through some of these resistance levels here. You can see it started to grind higher well before the market started to grind higher. It held this gap above all the SMAs, above the 8 EMA, AVWAPQ, and we have some room to this next level here, around 208. It'll probably be 209 tomorrow. So we have a whole ATR of room. And what I really like is a price action for Spot this past 2 days. So it did drop with the market, but it rebounded way stronger with the market above its prior day high and made a new high of the day to close yesterday. So that's what I really like. Second, today found support early in the day, didn't drop with the market, and then put this space in and managed to rally well past this new high right over here. You can see that we cleared this high, and right now it looks like it's kind of seeing a little bit of profit taking, not really bouncing with the market recently, but I still like it overall. I'd wait for this retest here of that level, and then on a new high you can take Spot. Earnings at 2.6, but you have plenty of time before that. So spot is going to be my pick of the day. This isn't like a go-go. Excuse me. Go-go gangbuster stock. It kind of tends to grind higher and grind lower. So I won't expect your move to be filled in a day, maybe 2 or 3 days to get to this point. But it's one you don't really have to worry about, and this is a great one. You can take probably a long-term position on that. It just steadily grinds higher. And that's kind of the price action you want in a stock like that. So that is it for today's video. Pretty short. Don't have to put anything more. Again, just wait for your opportunities late day. You can see that the market today is a pretty exact mirror of what happened yesterday, but even a more bullish scenario. We put in a base way earlier, 12. Yeah, I guess maybe around the same time, but this whole section here, this whole move down is weaker. This base formed quicker, this double bottom formed quicker, and this move happened much faster than yesterday. The retracements are also not that deep because bulls are fighting it along the way. So just wait for your opportunities there. I've not really been doing many day trades in this market or at all, but I have been doing more swing trades. Overnight swings have been really great. And if you're in the right stocks, they've been kind of just cleaving through price and just getting to the levels they need to get to without much in the way. Pan W is an excellent example of that. Really nice breakout here. Moved up higher. Hit this point. That's where you take profits. And that's a 2-day trade. And yesterday was a super easy add because Pan W didn't move down at all. Didn't budge with the market. So you can add on these relative strength areas. And if I go back to my positions, that's what I've done with the ramp. I added when it was showing relative strength earlier today, just a little bit to it, because it's confirming what I want it to do. The stock is performing while the market is taking a little bit of heat. When the market finds support, the stock should take off. I guess I should go over also what positions I'm in. So let's go over that pretty quickly. Amgen had a nice pop up over here. You can see that it held this level up here, popped up higher, found support on the gap. Pretty flat, I'd say, relative to SPY. Not super strong, not super weak. But it is staging its move up higher, and I have time before earnings. Airbnb put credit spreads down a little bit today, but don't have to over-manage those put credit spreads. NVIDIA put credit spread is well on the money. Also don't have to manage that too much. I believe... Yeah, I'll have to check my portfolio over here. But, yeah, I have the 475, 470. So NVIDIA would have to drop over to here, which, there's a lot of support in the way of that. A lot of support in the way of that. So not worried about NVIDIA. GS is one that's probably going to be a loser. Monday's a bank holiday. GS could not hold in the gap today. Is unable to break through this resistance level of 386. And I ran out of time. Don't have time before earnings. So just going to have to take the loss on the stock and call it a day. Happens, not the end of the world. You're going to take these losers every once in a while, but that's the name of the game. So right now I'm just looking for GS to give me an LRSI bear across here. And I know that this upward trend is done, and I can take just a slightly better loser. So instead of taking it, let's see, at 376, I take it 378. All right, I saved $2 on a loser. So, even when it's a loser, just look for these tiny places where you can not sell at the low of the day, right? Where can you sell where you don't have to take the biggest loss, right? If you can lose less on your losers and win more on your winners, you increase your profitability. So don't panic. Don't sell on your losers. Wait for your time to strike, even if that means exiting the trade at a better loss, right? How can you take the highest probability win? how can you take the highest probability loss? And like I mentioned before, I took a Zoom put credit spread. So today, if the market is able to make a new high, get into this gap over here, I will probably take spot. That would be my pick. If it's not able to take a new high, I will either take spot at a half position, or I may not even enter the trade. It depends how the end of the day looks like. If we get a really deep retracement here, then I'm less likely to take it because there could be some more selling, and I want to wait that out. If we have a pretty neutral or strong close, like kind of what we had yesterday, was a little bit more neutral, still had a ways to go up, then I will take spot. Hope this was helpful. We will look at spot in the next video. Oh, last thing I'll mention too. Let's look at cost. So we had cost as a pick on 1.9. You can see here gapped up. You could have taken profits here and then staged another leg higher today. Cost is also a grinder. Doesn't make huge moves in like intraday, but it has really, really nice swing potential over here. So took it at 667, 680, right? $13. So that's a 1.5 ATR move. And it definitely has plenty of room to go. So cost is one I like, and cost is one that I still like. And that is just something I wanted to show on some of the picks over here. All right, now that's officially it. I'll catch you on the next video.